Done. So, hi everyone. In this today's session, we will go through the mechanism of monsoon. In the mechanism of monsoon, first I will go through how the El Nino La Nina that impacts. Then we will move into the flow theory. So before that, we will go through first the flow theory, right? So we will go through the flow theory or the air mass theory. Now, in the mechanism, right? In the mechanism, as monsoon is going on, the mechanism of the monsoon, there is so much of mechanism are out there. So one of the most important part of mechanism is ITCZ or flow theory or air mass theory. So the monsoon formation, in the monsoon formation we call it air mass theory, right? We call it what? Air mass theory or flow theory or flow theory of air mass or the flow theory of air mass, right? Or FLOHN or the flow theory of air mass. This is simple called as modern day theory. This is also modern day theory. This is also what? Modern day theory. This is also modern day theory. That means link is given in the WhatsApp group, right? How to open? Ask them to open it, right? So here is that. Now see, we will go through in detail. First, flow theory or air mass theory is a flow theory, air mass theory, or modern theory of monsoon or modern theory of monsoon, also called as what? Modern theory of monsoon. Now what happens in the modern theory of monsoon? I means how movement of air mass. So simple, what would be important point? The mechanism, that means how movement of air mass air mass is responsible for the formation of monsoon. Right. So that means the point is that how movement of air mass is responsible for the formation of monsoon. This is also called as air mass theory, also called as air mass theory. In the air mass theory, we will read ITCZ in the core factors. So ITCZ is the major factors in the air mass theory. By default, when someone says okay, we will study air mass theory for the formation of monsoon, that means by default we are talking about ITCZ, how ITCZ responsible for the formation of monsoon. Indirectly, we are talking ITCZ and monsoon. So this is but reality. तो बस एतिकी जानिबो कि एयर मास थ्योरी जेतल कहा जाए सिंपल आमे ITCZ कथा कहूचे कि how ITCZ is responsible for the formation of monsoon. Before that, you have to go through some pictures. Let's say here is ITCZ. You can see ITCZ, how the ITCZ is moving. Now first of all, I will revise what is ITCZ. Now for the basic idea, ITCZ is simple, is a what? Meeting point of two different air masses or two trade winds So ITCZ is a what? Low pressure. Simple meaning, ITCZ is a low pressure. Where it forms? It forms in the meeting place of two trade wind, that is northeast trade wind and southeast trade winds. Wherever these two winds meets, that region will be called as ITCZ. ITCZ. Is it clear? Simple ITCZ is the meeting point of two air masses and itself a low pressure and itself a low pressure. Itself a what? Low pressure. So this is the basic idea. It's a low pressure. That means this ITCZ or the meeting point ये यहाँ पे हो सकता है, ये यहाँ पे हो सकता है meeting point. Now meeting point is depend. Now let's say somebody will say कि why ITCZ will be here. ये यहाँ पे क्यों नहीं, ये यहाँ पे क्यों नहीं, यहाँ पे क्यों नहीं, हो सकता है. ITCZ moves both southern hemisphere and northern hemisphere. It moves like this, right? ये let's say in the month of March. In the month of March, that means equinox. In the March, let's say 21st or 23. So that would be equinox. Now during the equinox, sun would be over the equator. Sun would be over the equator. Is it fine? Right. Hope this one is clear to all. Sun would be over the equator. As the sun is over the equator, right, that means ସବୁବେଳେ ମନେ ରଖିବ कि ITCZ sun जोठी थाए ठीक तार तले थाए. If sun is in southern hemisphere, that means ITCZ will move to southern hemisphere. If sun is over equator, then ITCZ would be over equator. If sun is here in India, that means 23 half, then ITCZ will be 23 half. So simple meaning कि wherever sun will be, on the vorticity of sun, there would be ITCZ. There would be ITCZ. So this is clear and easy things to remember. As I said, कि wherever sun would be, on the vorticity of it, let's say sun is here in the December month, so ITCZ will be here, right? If sun is here, then ITCZ will also here on the vorticity of that. Now here you can see the ITCZ is here. That means sun is also here. That means sun is also here. So I mean it's a June condition. It's a what? June condition. As the sun is over India, the ITCZ also over India. Right? The ITCZ also over India. But here now what you have to do is simple. So this is how. Let's say the ITCZ, earlier it used to be here. Right? ये पहले कहाँ पे था? ये इधर था, इक्वेटर के ऊपर पूरा. धीरे 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 it has moved to this. As the sun is moving, so it is also moving. तो ITCZ ऐसे मतलब maximum कितना जा सकता है? It could be 30 degree. It could be what? 30 degree. The maximum movement, because sun will maximum move 23 and a half, but ITCZ can maximum move over India. It would be 28, 27 or maximum 30 degree. But 30 degree बहुत rare. It would be 25, 27. That it can move, right? Now see one thing. If ITCZ is here, just imagine if ITCZ is here. If here, that means this wind will comes and this wind will come. Both will meet, right? Both the winds will meet here. If ITCZ is here, that means this wind will meet as usual. ये तो यहाँ से आ रहा था ऐसे भी, तो यहाँ पे meet कर लेगा, right? तो वैसे ही आ रहा था ना यहाँ से, वैसे meet कर लिया. But this wind has to cross the equator to meet here. But this wind has to cross the equator to meet here. ये इधर से आएगा, यहाँ पे रह जाएगा. But इसको cover करने पड़ेगा ज़्यादा दूरी. And that is why this wind, when crossing the equator, it moves to meet here. It will become southwest monsoon. It would becomes what? Southwest monsoon. That means southwest monsoon itself, the modification of northeast trade wind. Sorry, southeast trade wind. The what? Southeast trade wind. This southeast trade wind, which used to meet over here, equator, now it is crossing the equator to meet with the ITCZ here, and it will become southwest monsoon. And it will become southwest monsoon. क्योंकि यहाँ पे तो मीट तक करना पड़ेगा. तो अगर मीट करेगा तो ये इसको क्रॉस करेगा तो फिर राइट को डिफ्लेक्ट हो जाए कोरियोलिस फोर्स. इट विल डिफ्लेक्ट टुवर्ड्स द राइट्स. देन यहाँ पे मीट करेगा. So this is the main concept of ITCZ or the air mass theory. How air mass theory is responsible for the formation of monsoon. Now again, see, let's say now this is the meeting point. Just imagine this is the meeting, that means the wind here is coming, this one is coming, meeting point, but this wind would not be able to bring the moisture. यहाँ से जो wind आ रहे हैं इसके पास तो moisture नहीं होगा, so that means धीरे धीरे as this would be here then it will move to here, ये धीरे 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 ऊपर तक जाएगा, कितना जाएगा 27 डिग्री, how much 27 डिग्री. तो now just imagine after few months or few days it will be here, ITCZ is here, that means this wind has to cover and move all the way to reach here, all the way to reach here. जब ये यहाँ पे पहुँचेगा मतलब ये जो विंड अपने साथ मॉइस्चर लेके आया, यहाँ से एंट्री करके पूरा यहाँ तक आते आते ये सारे एरिया बारिश हो जाएगा, क्योंकि as this wind is moving all the way to reach here, that moisture will cause rainfall. Let's say ITCZ is here, मतलब आपका इतना portion will have rainfall, this portion will receive rainfall. If ITCZ moves here, then this portion will receive monsoon. If ITCZ moves here, whole of India now coming under the monsoon. If ITCZ is here, that means pura northeast and whole of India is now covered under the monsoon. So the monsoon propagation, जेमती कहते कि monsoon केरला रे पहुँचेला ओडिशा को आसे पे 15 दिन लगे एथि पई, because this ITCZ or I would say ITCZ will move, it will take times, as it moves to the highest I means what 27 डिग्री और 28 डिग्री. तो जब ये पूरा हाईएस्ट अपने लैटिट्यूड पे आ जाएगा, राइट, पूरा यहाँ पे, जैसे कि ये पूरा यहाँ पे आ गया, फिर यहाँ पे आ गया, फिर यहाँ पे, फिर यहाँ पे, यहाँ पे. Now all these regions now under the influence of monsoon, all these regions now under the influence of monsoon. So that means what I said, that this ITCZ is responsible for the bringing of monsoon, and ITCZ itself a monsoon, ITCZ itself a monsoon. Why? Because this one is crossing the equator, this one is crossing the equator to meet the ITCZ, to meet the ITCZ, to meet the ITCZ, and that is why, so this theory is called as air mass theory or mechanism. Now question is here, a question is here, that how much or where would be ITCZ, कि ITCZ location must be where, right, ITCZ location must be where for the onset of monsoon. देखो ध्यान से इसको सुनना कि ITCZ को केते डिग्री लैटिट्यूड रे हेले monsoon आसीबो. ITCZ could be here, ITCZ could be here, so it would be 15 degree. So the answer is 15 degree. When ITCZ is 15 degree, let's say here is 8 degree, this would be 8 degree, this would be 15 degree, so this would be your what 15 degree, because middle part here would be 37 something, 38, let's say 37 point something. So when ITCZ is 15 degree over India, then monsoon will onset, because let's say here if ITCZ is here, that means this wind will cross to meet this position. Now Kerala is coming under the influence, and that is why, so ITCZ at least we need 15 degree, at least we need what 15 degree location. When ITCZ would be 15 degree over the Indian subcontinent, monsoon will onset in Kerala. बाकी कितना रहा और 15 डिग्री, क्योंकि टोटल 30 डिग्री. नाउ अगर ये 15 डिग्री मूव करने के लिए इसको एक महीना लगेगा, राइट, विद इन 1 month whole of India will come under the influence of monsoon, because this will move. Now it's what onset happens on the first week of what, that is the June, first week of June. Now by the end of June it will reach all the region, that means first of July. Now first week of July, then sun will again move back, and sun from here to reach here, it would be again what, March, then from here, so it would be September, it would be September to reach here, from here to here is June 23rd, it would be here. Now from here to here it would be your what, September 21st or 23 of September. Then, so that means how many month is there? July, August, September, 3 months. So sun from here reach to here 3 months. That is why monsoon happens for 2 and 3 months. That is why monsoon happens for 2 and 3 months, because see, here is your first week of what? That is the June. From first week to second week of June, sun will move, still moving in the northern hemisphere. Then whole of June, then June 23rd. After June 23rd, sun will start to move toward the southern hemisphere or equator. So that will take times at least 2 months. And that is why ITCZ will remain over India at least for the 2 months. And that is why that 2.5 months India will receive rainfall. Are you getting my calculation? Right. So that is why these 2.5 months the India will receive rainfall. So as long as ITCZ remains over India, the rainfall will happen, because this wind will bring the moisture. Right. So this is the reason of how jet stream that ITCZ influence for the formation of monsoon. Now, so this is summer condition, but just opposite इसको अगर हम कर देंगे opposite, what will happens? This is the summer monsoon. That means the summer monsoon in India is happening because of the movement of ITCZ from all the way from the equator to what, at least 27 or 28 degree latitude. It is moving. Now when it is here, that means the whole of India is covering under the monsoon. This is the reason. Now see, what will happens in the winter? So this is what? Summer monsoon. This one would be summer monsoon. This would be what? Summer monsoon. Now when it comes to winter monsoon, what will happen? See, as the sun, then sun will try to retreat or move towards the southern hemisphere. In the month of September, sun would be equator. The month of September, mid-September, it would be not mid, it would be late September. That means September 20 to September 23, sun would be over equator again. Now then after this September, the sun will start to move towards the southern hemisphere till December 23rd. Till December 23rd. From here, September 21st to December 23rd, sun will be in the southern hemisphere. Sun will be in the southern hemisphere. क्योंकि इस साइड समर हो जाएगा, इस साइड विंटर हो जाएगा. Now imagine करो, if sun is in southern hemisphere, that means ITCZ will be also here. ITCZ will be also here in the southern hemisphere. ये भी southern hemisphere पे आ जाएगा. Now what will happen in India? What will happen in India? In India, there would be no ITCZ. Now ITCZ is in southern hemisphere. Why? Because of apparent movement of the sun. Here is ITCZ. Right. Now as the ITCZ is shift, now what will happen? This wind, because this is the meeting point of two winds. So this wind, what will happen? It will cross to meet here. It will cross to meet here. It will cross to meet here. Right. It will cross to meet here. Getting my point? Because यहाँ से जो wind आएगा, ये तो यहाँ पे meet करेगा. जैसे कि ये मीट करने के लिए क्रॉस करके इधर आया था, तो उसको भी आना पड़ेगा भाई इधर. राइट. नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस? दिस ITCZ is here means this is what? Northeast trade wind. This northeast trade wind is crossing all the way equator to reach and to what? Follow the ITCZ or to meet into the low pressure, ITCZ low pressure. Now what happens? This air which is picks moisture from the Bay of Bengal, they will cause rain here. They will cause rain here in this region. They will cause rain here. Right. So they will cause rain here. This air mass which is coming. Why air mass is coming? Because this region is having high pressure. Now northern hemisphere is winter. The northern hemisphere is winter. As the northern hemisphere is winter, that means whole region is high pressure. High pressure, high pressure, high pressure. Whole region is high pressure. High pressure. As whole region is high pressure, this high pressure will throw the wind to the low pressure, because this region is लो प्रेशर, बट विंड ऐसे सीधा नहीं जा सकता, it will be deflect under the influence of Coriolis force, then it will move like. That is why this wind picks the moisture from all this region of Bay of Bengal and causes the rainfall in the southern part of India, in the Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Puducherry, all this region. Here it is called as it is what, northeast monsoon, retreating monsoon, or it would be winter monsoon. So that is how winter monsoon forms again due to the shifting of ITCZ, again due to the shifting of ITCZ towards the southern hemisphere, towards the what, southern hemisphere. That means the winter rainfall and summer rainfall by default, that is the product of the winter and summer rainfall, right, or the monsoon. By default, your winter, that means your winter monsoon, or summer, they are the product of ITCZ. They are the product of ITCZ, or the movement of ITCZ. When the ITCZ in the northern hemisphere, then it will have summer monsoon. If the ITCZ is moving to the southern hemisphere, then we will have winter monsoon. Why? So because of this is what, that means, by the way, as of now we are talking about, so this is the movement of what, air, the simple movement of air is happening, or wind, movement of wind, and that is why this is called as air mass theory, because air mass is moving and monsoon is happening. Air mass is moving, the air mass moved from here to here and from here to here, that is why this is called as modern day theory or air mass theory, because the monsoon is itself forms due to the movement of air mass from south to north or north to south. That is why we call it air mass theory. This is why this ITCZ theory also called as air mass theory, because now by summary that monsoon is forming due to the movement of air mass, either from south to north or from north to south. That is why air mass, and this air mass, as it having moisture, that is why causing the rainfall. That is why causing the rainfall in the Indian subcontinent, right, in the Indian subcontinent. So this is how, this is the modern day theory or air mass theory, which was given by Flown, So that is why you may write Flown air mass theory or ITCZ or modern day theory, all are same, Should I repeat once more? I am repeating in short, then we will move to other theories. Once again I repeat, the ITCZ will be here, because sun is here. Let's say, imagine sun is here over the equator in the month of March, let's say in the month of March, because of equinox. Now from here the sun will move towards how much? It would be 23 and half. The maximum movement will be 23 and half. But with the movement of sun, the ITCZ, which is the meeting point of two different air mass, that is the what, northeast trade wind and southeast trade wind, they will also meet here. This ITCZ itself a low pressure. This one itself a low pressure. This ITCZ will follow the path of sun to reach the 23 and maximum up to 28 to 30 degree, what I would say, latitude in the Indian subcontinent. So this jet stream, right, or I would say ITCZ, it will move. Why? Because sun is also moving towards the northern hemisphere or towards the what, Tropic of Cancer, and this ITCZ, as it moves like this, this air mass, that means I would say northeast trade wind will meet here. Let's say here is your ITCZ, it will move, but the southern hemisphere that is the wind, that is what, southeast trade wind, it has to cross the equator to meet the northeast trade wind, and that is why this modification which is coming from southwest, hence this portion is called as the southwest monsoon. It will pick moisture from the Indian Ocean, and that will cause the rainfall in India. So this is how ITCZ theory or the modern day theory or modern day theory, right? Now apart from this, role of Tibetan plateau, that will be discussed later, but then we are having also another point. Another point is how jet stream is responsible for the formation of monsoon. The next point is that how jet stream is responsible. So which jet stream? There are three jet stream. Remember, when you are writing monsoon, you have to remember three monsoon. Jet stream. Who are they? There would be subtropical jet stream, there would be easterly jet stream, and there is Somalian jet stream. Another is what? Somalian jet. Somalian jet. So there are three jet stream which is responsible for the formation of Indian monsoon. Because एक अगर पूछ लेगा, now in the prelim they will ask you which one is most important. So answer would be this would be. If which one is most important jet stream for the formation of monsoon, then answer would be easterly jet. The answer would be easterly jet. So three jet streams are there. Now we will first learn how subtropical jet stream is responsible for the formation of monsoon. How subtropical jet stream. So three jet streams we have talked, three jet streams they would be responsible. See, now first we will go through how subtropical jet stream or it would be responsible for the formation of monsoon. Now ध्यान से देखना, subtropical jet stream and the formation of monsoon, or how does it helps. The subtropical jet stream, so there are how many jet streams? Polar jet stream, subtropical jet stream, and what? Easterly jet and polar night jet, one is Somalian jet. So total 5 jet streams are there, but you have to remember only now this one, subtropical jet stream. This one is important one, subtropical jet stream. So subtropical jet stream in winter, let's say winter condition is going on, winter condition, imagine the subtropical jet stream is coming from like this. The subtropical jet stream is coming like this, right? It will reach Himalaya. Here Himalaya. It will reach Himalaya. Now this subtropical jet stream, when it reaches Himalaya, right? When it reaches Himalaya, ध्यान से देखना इसको. This is very important. Again I repeat, subtropical jet stream in the winter condition चल रहा है अभी. Subtropical jet stream when it reaches to Himalaya, because of the height in Uttarakhand पे height बहुत ज़्यादा है हिमालय का. What will happens? It will strike the Himalaya, then it will bifurcate into two parts. It will bifurcate into two parts. This subtropical jet stream Himalaya strike kala pare, it will be divided into two parts, which we called bifurcation. Bifurcation into two. One would be north of Himalaya or Tibet, one would be south of Himalaya, right? So this would be divided into two branches. Bifurcation, by happening the bifurcation, it will be into two. This is what? Subtropical jet stream. Now, condition is winter going on. Condition is winter going on in India or northern hemisphere. That means southern hemisphere is low pressure or summer condition is going on. Now ध्यान से देखना, this jet stream will create upper atmospheric high pressure. What? Upper atmospheric high pressure. Now what will happen? Sometimes upper atmospheric it will create what? High pressure. So because of high pressure, what will happen? There would be divergence of wind. But this jet stream brings what? Westerly. This jet stream is also called as westerly, as this jet stream is also called as westerly, or in India what? Westerly. In India it is called as westerly. That brings the rain. But what will happen? In the month of October it reaches India. In the month of October, this jet stream reaches India and brings the rain. This is very important. This jet stream reaches October, mid of October, and brings the rains, which we call it westerly, which in India we call it westerly because it is coming from west, that is why westerly. ये जेट स्ट्रीम कहाँ पे ऑरिजिन हो रहा है? मेडिटेरियन सी, कैस्पियन सी, ब्लैक सी. तो ये जो जेट स्ट्रीम ऑरिजिन कहाँ पे हो रहा है? मेडिटेरियन सी, ब्लैक सी, कैस्पियन सी. व्हाई? बिकॉज ऑफ टेम्परेट साइक्लोन. Because of temperate cyclone. Why? Because of temperate cyclone. The waves of temperate cyclones is coming and reaching India with the jet stream. With the jet stream. Now this jet stream, आंसर पे सुनिबो, as long as ये jet stream जेते दिन पर्यंत जब तक ये इंडिया पे रहेगा तब तक बारिश नहीं होगा, मतलब मानसून नहीं है. Right, after October gradually rainfall will decrease, winter will comes. Now high pressure will develop. In India, high pressure will develop. This jet stream descends. These jet streams then started to descend in the northwestern part of India. Which part? The northwestern part of India. It will descend. It will descend. Why? Then you will have question, why jet stream will descend? Because jet streams will heavy. It will be cold, heavy, and descend. It would be cold, heavy, and descend. When it descend, making the region high pressure, making the region high pressure. And जब ये high pressure बनाना शुरू करेगा तो there would be high pressure in India means there would be no rainfall. So unless and until, ध्यान से सुनिबो, जो पर्यंत ये जो high pressure रही ये jet stream इंडिया ऊपर रही से पर्यंत मानसून आसीबो नाही. जो पर्यंत ये निजो को पूरा completely हिमालय आरपट साइड को न जाइछि से पर्यंत हबो नाही. काहेकि? Because it creates a upper atmospheric pressure. It creates a upper atmospheric pressure, like, so it's like a lead effect. ये atmosphere ऊपर सब बड़े कम कहे एमती मूव करू थाए, जेमती गोटे मुंड ऊपर कुछ जिंस मूव कले हमको प्रेशर फील हबो, ये सेमती सब बड़े मूव करू थाए. As it is moving like this, so it is also putting the pressure on the ground. तो ग्राउंड रू जो एयर atmospheric एयर टा बा आमे कहबा जो हीट टा ऊपर को जाई परिबो नहीं, से ताको कोन करियो, प्रेस करिक रखिबो. Let's say in the, just imagine karo, in the March, April, May or April in Delhi, now heat will comes. April gradually the temperature will increase in Gangetic Plain, right? But upper atmospheric jet stream that would not release the heat, that will suppress the heat, that will suppress the heat. ये जब तक यहाँ पे रहेगा तब तक इस रीजन पे घुटन होगा. That is why Delhi, Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, they experience high temperature and high humidity, heat waves बहुत होते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि this jet streams remains over the head or over the atmosphere, so that the heat from the ground that would not able to escape the space, that will trap it, that will trap it. ये ताकू कौन करिवो, ट्रैप करके रखिबो, so that the region, though this region will experience heat on the ground, but the low pressure is not forming. Like pressure cooker, we are putting the lid over it, heat is increasing but low pressure होनी, high pressure होची. Pressure is what? High, increase करूची, because that is having lead effect, that is having lead effect. Like this jet stream that puts lead effect like on this region, and that will have humidity on the ground. When this jet stream will withdraws to beyond the Himalaya, right, से केबे जीवो, जेतबेले सन आसीबो नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फीयर को, सन नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फीयर को आसिले ये कोन करिवो, ये हिमालय आरपट को पळेबो, काहे कि सन टू से डिस्टेंस मेंटेन करे, से सबले सन टू डिस्टेंस मेंटेन करे. नाउ सन इज इन southern hemisphere, so that is why jet stream is here. Now sun is here, jet stream टिके ऊपर कोठी जीवो, sun आउ टिके एठी आसिला, ये एपड को पूरा पळेबो. तो sun जेतबेले आसी जीवो, when sun will comes to northern hemisphere, this jet stream will withdraws to 40 degree latitude. ये 40 degree latitude को पळाइसबो beyond India. That means the lead effect would not be there. There would be no lead effect, and the region will now convert into low pressure. So unless and until this jet stream, right, this jet stream will remain over India, the monsoon would not come. So we need the jet stream to what? Withdraw beyond the Himalaya, so that the region will expose into a low pressure. The region will expose into a low pressure. Otherwise, that will put the pressure, that will upper atmospheric pressure will create, and low pressure would not be formed on the ground. ground would not have low pressure. Upper atmospheric will have low pressure, ground will have high pressure. So we need this jet stream to withdraw beyond the Himalaya, so that the low pressure will forms on the ground, and the air mass which is waiting here. See, here is, as the jet stream is moving like this, here the air mass is waiting, here air mass is waiting कि ये जब इधर जाएगा तब हम मूव करेंगे. As of now the air mass in the southern hemisphere they are waiting कि भाई कब ये इधर जाएगा, and then this region will convert into low pressure, then we will move. Now sun is here, let's say sun is here, still high pressure is here, still high pressure, because jet stream is there. So jet stream, let the jet stream to withdraw beyond the Himalaya, then they will suddenly flow, and that is why the June first week is the monsoon happens in June first week. Okay, why that particular date? Because of this phenomenon. So up to that means up to first week of June, this jet stream remains over India, right? When June comes, or April, May month is ending, right, May 15th, suddenly this withdrawal itself, and this air mass which is waiting, they will burst in Kerala, they will suddenly comes to Kerala. So they are waiting कि भाई ये कब इधर जाएगा, हम मूव करेंगे. बुझिपारछ नहीं? So there would be two things at a time होउछि, दीटा जिंस at a time होउछि. केमिति ना, that means we would say one is this टाइबेट. टाइबेटर कोन हिजबो, तुरंत आमे कहबा लो प्रेशर डेवलप हिजबो. तो ये जेतले एपट को आसी जिवो, टाइबेटर भी हमरो लो प्रेशर डेवलप हिजबो. So that suddenly कोन हिजबो, there would be आमे कहबा growth of what, low pressure, and that low pressure in this region will push the high pressure. This region is having high pressure, and suddenly the air mass will flow, and that is why we need the jet stream to shift beyond the Himalaya, and it will, when it beyond the Himalaya, the monsoon will comes in the Kerala. That is the reason how jet stream influences the monsoon. Here you can see the Tibetan apparat, that is what, low pressure would be there, would be low pressure, atmospheric, right? So that means, so we need the Tibetan region, all this region, so otherwise it would be difficult to move. So low pressure here would be low pressure, the summer condition would be in Tibet, there would be low pressure, right? So this was the role of jet stream. So another jet streams we will talk about, right, the easterly jet. That is what, easterly jet. The easterly jet which origins on Tibet. We have already discussed in the previous classes, right, that easterly jet. Now, so this is how the jet stream, they are responsible for the formation of what, for the formation of your so now after this jet streams, another jet stream also there. Now we will comes to other facts. See, in the last class we discussed about El Nino, La Nina, how El Nino, La Nina, this was the last YouTube session I said, and I was discussing how El Nino and La Nina that influence the monsoon, that we discussed in the last YouTube session, right? That was also in StudyIQ platform. Now El Nino and La Nina, इसका जो difference मानसून के ऊपर कैसे इम्पैक्ट करता है उसको हमने लास्ट लेक्चर पे देख लिया. तो आज का जो लेक्चर है उसमें बाकी सारे चीज हम देखेंगे, एल नीनो ला नीना पे हम नहीं जाएंगे. ना अदर फैक्टर्स इज व्हाट, अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट इंडियन ओशन डाइपोल इज देयर. Indian ocean dipoles, in the some other classes I was also discussing Indian ocean dipole. Now apart from this jet stream, let's say we have discussed one jet stream, okay, that is the jet stream. Another jet stream also there which we call it easterly jet, which we call it what, easterly jet, right, which origins on Tibet, which origins in Tibet, easterly jet. So apart from this subtropical jet stream, right, subtropical jet stream, there is also easterly jet, what, easterly jet also there. Now these jet streams are cumulatively putting impact for the formation of monsoon. Let's say for example, Now this one also jet stream. Now this jet stream will withdraw beyond the Himalaya so that this will active. ध्यान से मन रखना, याद रखना, ये वाला withdrawal करेगा, ये आ जाएगा play पे. Now this will come to play. Unless and until this one is not withdrawing, ये formation नहीं होगा. This easterly jet would not form. That is why ये withdrawal हो जाएगा, ये formation हो जाएगा. Easterly jet stream. Now the monsoon is in onset, and that is why in the onset of monsoon, this is very important. That is why, as I said, if they will ask you which jet stream is most important, then easterly jet stream is the most important for the formation of monsoon, right? This will let it withdraw beyond the Himalaya, then it will establish itself. ये अपने आप को establish कर लेगा, right? ये अपने आप को establish कर लेगा, correct? This would be ground air mass. This would be ground air mass. This would be upper atmospheric, and the tibet is now low pressure. Tibet is now low pressure. Upper atmospheric will have high pressure. This would be over Africa. It would be low pressure, and ground Africa eastern coast will have high pressure, right? Now that is why this jet stream, when it will stop, now this jet stream will comes to play. So this is why this is a what mechanism that having complex relation. So monsoon is not a simple relation. It doesn't have a single cell formation or single way के एक ही चीज पढ़ लिया monsoon हो गया. तो monsoon is a complex, completely complex. भाई ये पहले खत्म होगा, फिर ये आ जाएगा, फिर ये जब आएगा, now नीचे होगा क्या Somalian jet. Then again Somalian jet will first it will withdraw, then it will form, then Somalian jet will form, then monsoon will happen, right? So they are interlinked things. So many things are linked together to form the monsoon. On the top of that, there is El Nino and La Nina also there, because ये तो formation mechanism. There is also air mass theory. ITCZ we have discussed now just before we are talking about ITCZ. How ITCZ is responsible for the formation of. So ITCZ is responsible for the formation of monsoon. Jet stream is responsible for the formation of rain, that is monsoon. That these two is most important. But ध्यान से याद रखना, ITCZ and jet stream, they are responsible for the formation of monsoon, not El Nino La Nina. El Nino La Nina impact the monsoon. They impact the monsoon, but they are not the reason for the formation of monsoon. They are not the reason for the formation of monsoon. El Nino and La Nina, this El Nino and La Nina, they impact the monsoon, but they are not responsible for the formation of monsoon. I repeat again, they are not responsible for the formation of monsoon. During the El Nino time, the rainfall will reduce. During the La Nina time, the rainfall will increase. That means this is the relation. Why? Because of masculine high, the relation would be impacted the masculine high. So that is why El Nino, La Nina, they are not the reason for the formation of monsoon, but they impact the total rainfall of the monsoon. They impact the, likewise, the Indian Ocean dipole. Let's say Indian Ocean dipole. If I talk Indian Ocean dipole, when I say Indian Ocean dipole mean, the meaning, what is the meaning of Indian Ocean dipole? Indian Ocean dipole means simple. So this is Indian Ocean dipole. Dipole अर्थात dual pole. ये एक पोल, ये एक पोल, मतलब both end, इसलिए dipole. Dipole means dual pole or end of Indian Ocean. एक end है western, this is eastern. That is why we call is dual pole. This is what? Dual pole or dipole. Now Indian Ocean dipole. एक pole end दोनों का. If here is warm water, ध्यान से देखना, if here is warm water, that means Indian Ocean dipole positive phase. If warm water is here, then it is negative phase. If warm water is here, right, so that means this region will be cool water. अगर यहाँ पे warm है तो यहाँ पे cool होगा, और इसको reverse कर दो, यहाँ पे अगर cool यहाँ पे warm तो negative हो जाएगा. So this is how Indian Ocean dipole, meaning sea surface temperature phenomena. If the sea surface temperature during the monsoon यहाँ पे ज़्यादा है, that means positive phase, right? अगर यहाँ पे cool है तो negative phase. So यहाँ पे अगर ज़्यादा temperature होगा तो moisture ज़्यादा होगा. So that means more air mass will come and more rainfall will happen in India. If this region will have more temperature, more moisture will be there. If more moisture, the wind is coming from here to India, there would be more rainfall. If this region is cool, there would be less rainfall. Moisture, the less moisture, less rainfall. That is why we need a warm surface here. We need warm surface. We need what? Warm Indian Ocean, Western Indian Ocean, क्योंकि ज़्यादातर एयर मास यहाँ से ऐसे आएगा, राइट. सो दैट इज वाई यहाँ पे मॉइस्चर ज़्यादा होगा. तो इंडियन ओशन डाइपोल का पॉजिटिव फेज, वी नीड व्हाट? पॉजिटिव फेज, नॉट नेगेटिव फेज. सो दिस पॉजिटिव फेज अगर नहीं होगा, लेट्स से समबडी विल आस्क यू कि इफ देयर इज नो पॉजिटिव फेज दैट मीन्स मानसून नहीं होगा ना. मानसून होगा बट रेनफॉल कम हो जाएगा. मानसून तो भाई होगा, मानसून विल हैव. So Indian Ocean dipole is not the factor for the formation of monsoon, but it influence the monsoon. अगर पॉजिटिव फेज है सर रेनफॉल ज़्यादा होगा, अगर नेगेटिव फेज है तो रेनफॉल कम होगा. बट दिस इज नॉट द फैक्टर फॉर द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ मानसून. मानसून तो वो अलग चीज़ है, वो ईस्टर्ली जेट स्ट्रीम के ऊपर फॉर्मेशन हो जाएगा, वो एयर मास शिफ्टिंग की वजह से फॉर्मेशन हो जाएगा. दैट इज द फॉर्मेशन रीजन. बट दे आर ओनली इम्पैक्टिंग द अमाउंट ऑफ रेनफॉल. They are only impacting the amount of rainfall, not the mechanism of rainfall, right. They are impacting. If positive phase, here would be if this side is having warm water, then negative phase. बस एक को याद कर लो ना कि यहाँ पे अगर warm water है तो positive तो भाई होगा, negative समझ में आ जाएगा कि हाँ ठीक है. तो इस साइड अगर यहाँ पे cool water हो जाए तो negative हो गया. फिर positive phase good rainfall, negative phase less rainfall. So this is how Indian Ocean dipole. That means Indian Ocean dipole, simple word, it's a sea surface temperature phenomenon of Indian Ocean. Nothing. The definition is sea surface temperature phenomenon of Indian Ocean. If western part of Indian Ocean is having warm water, it's a positive phase. If eastern part is having warm water, that means this will be negative phase. बस इतना ही याद करना है और कुछ याद करना है नहीं, right. So this is how mechanism happens. So now one other thing is that Somalian jet. See Somalian jet. So 5 minutes more, right. So what would be there? So Somalian jet is what? See Somalian jet, this region, as here would be high pressure, here would be masculine high, here would be what? Masculine high. As the masculine high is here, from the air it will move like this because of Coriolis force, it will move like this. Then after crossing it will move like this, after crossing it will move like this, it will move like this. Here you can see the shape of the coast. The wind which is coming, it will deflect towards, naturally it will be deflect towards India because of the shape of the coast. Getting my point? Because of the shape of the coast, naturally air would be deflected, and this air is coming like this, coming like this, right. It would be coming like this. So this here, so this particular area is called as Somalian jet. Why? Because of wind speed increases due to the deflection. The wind speed increases due to the deflection, and that is why more wind speed will be here, more the strong jet stream, more the strong jet stream, more the rainfall will happens in the Indian subcontinent. More the rainfall will happens in the subcontinent. So jet streams, role of Somalian jet stream. So Somalian jet stream also another factor for the formation of monsoon, but this is not the sole factor. But this is not the sole factor for the formation of monsoon. These are all the jet stream we have discussed, how these jet streams are impacting the formation of monsoon, including subtropical jet stream which was coming like this, then easterly jet, Somalian jet. So how many jets are impacting? 3 jets, right. क्योंकि जब भी क्वेश्चन आएगा ना कि डिस्कस द रोल ऑफ जेट स्ट्रीम इन द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ मानसून, तीनों जेट स्ट्रीम लिखना पड़ेगा, तीनों जेट स्ट्रीम. एक लिखोगे तो आंसर नहीं होगा, तो उसको से समझ में आ जाएगा कि भाई ये छोड़ दिया बाकी दो, राइट. तो तीनों को लिखना पड़ेगा अलग अलग. सब ट्रॉपिकल जेट स्ट्रीम मानसून, ईस्टर्ली जेट स्ट्रीम मानसून, सोमालियन जेट स्ट्रीम मानसून, तीनों को सेपरेट लिख लो. And figure 3 different figure will be there, right. Then it would be clear कि yes the jet stream is completely clear. Otherwise उनको लगेगा कि भाई jet stream जो है ना वो complete नहीं, कहीं ना कहीं कुछ चीज छूट गया है. राइट तो तीनों को पूरा लिखना पड़ेगा डिटेल पे। अगर आपको फिर ऐसे पूछे कि भाई डिस्कस द फैक्टर दैट इम्पैक्ट्स द मानसून, सी डिस्कस द फैक्टर्स दैट इम्पैक्ट द मानसून, then you have to write El Nino, La Nina, Indian Ocean Dipoles, Madden Julian, and what Madden Julian. So Madden Julian what? Madden Julian oscillation. You might have heard recently in the news that Madden Julian oscillation, right? Madden Julian oscillation. What is this? How it influence? Now this time, this year in 2025, monsoon जल्दी आ गया, राइट सबको लग रहा है कि मानसून जल्दी आ गया, मानसून क्यों आया? बिकॉज ऑफ मैडन जूलियन ओसिलेशन, बिकॉज ऑफ व्हाट? मैडन जूलियन ओसिलेशन। नाउ व्हाट इज दिस? मैडन जूलियन ओसिलेशन इज ए सिंपल, इसको देख लेना, इट्स ए एयर मास विच फ्लो फ्रॉम वेस्ट टू ईस्ट, ध्यान से देख लेना, इट्स ए एयर मास विच फ्लो फ्रॉम ईस्ट टू वेस्ट, right, sorry, west to east, it flows what? West to east, it's a air mass, right? Now when it would be, let's say it is now over the equator, now when sun moves towards the north, it will also move towards the north, तो ये हमेशा क्या करता है, ये वेस्ट से ईस्ट के मूव करता रहता है, एंड इट विल ब्रिंग व्हाट? मॉइस्चर, ये अपने साथ मॉइस्चर भी लाता है, itself a low pressure, itself a low pressure। इसका तो साइकिल 60 डेज तक चलता है, इसका जो साइकिल है 60 डेज, हाउ मेनी? 60 डेज ऑफ साइकिल मैडन जूलियन। दिस मैडन जूलियन समटाइम्स इट बिकम स्ट्रॉन्गर, समटाइम्स, क्योंकि इसका कुछ भी ऐसा नहीं है कि मैकेनिज्म किसी को भी पता नहीं, इट्स ए सिंपल एयर मास दैट मूव्स वेस्ट टू ईस्ट हैविंग एम्पल मॉइस्चर। ये 60 डेज का साइकिल है इसका, 60 डेज का साइकिल। जब ये मूव करता है किसी, लेट्स से 2025 में ये स्ट्रॉन्ग हो गया, सो इट विल ब्रिंग्स अर्ली मानसून, इट विल ब्रिंग्स अर्ली मानसून। ये वेस्ट से ईस्ट तक आ रहा है, अपने साथ बहुत सारा मॉइस्चर लेके आ रहा है, एंड दैट इज वाई दिस टाइम इट इज बिलीव्ड कि बिकॉज ऑफ मैडन जूलियन ओसिलेशन एंड स्ट्रॉन्ग मैडन जूलियन ओसिलेशन, द मानसून हैज अराइव्ड earlier to the scheduled time, that with the usually first week of June. So this is the reason कि मैडन जूलियन oscillation अर्थात means what? It will come move, this is like what? Oscillation, this is how oscillation is coming and again back, so this oscillation happens 60 days cycle। because of this oscillation, this is cloud ना, ये अपने साथ moisture और cloud भी लेके आता है which causes rainfall, 60 days का cycle इसका, right? And this is the reason for the early onset of monsoon this year, madden Julian oscillation, right? Or nothing, so this is the main reason, right? हो जाएगा ना इस साल क्यों आ गया? तो ये मैडन जूलियन ओसिलेशन, इफ somebody will ask, this is what? This is simple, the wind which moves from west to east and it brings ample amount of moisture clouds with it which causes rainfall, it's a 60-day cycles which happens, and this is usually flow close to the equator, but as in summer condition it will comes over India, little bit over India, and that causes the early onset of monsoon in the Kerala. And as of now Kerala has received sufficient monsoon or the surplus monsoon in the month of what? May. In the month of May, by the month of May, Kerala has received this year surplus rainfall because of this strong madden Julian oscillation, right? So with this we will end the today's sessions. Thank you everyone.